It's funny because when I told somebody that I was going, um, they told me that it was a waste of time. Um, I don't believe it was a waste of time. I don't think that this is something that's going to just completely change the world, you know what I'm saying? Like just in a split second and just flip everything that we're experiencing right now. I think that this is something that is just going to strengthen the movement, you know? This is only something that is going to strengthen, our power because there's power in numbers, right? And to show that like this is us in solidarity. Like there's COVID happening, there's shootings happening, police are still murdering our people, but we're still showing up. We're not staying silent, you know? So I think that's only gonna strengthen the movement that's happening and that continues to happen.
Yeah, for me, something that I really appreciated about the rally was all of the different speakers representing different parts of Black liberation work. It's like, of course, they called it the Get Your Knee Off Our Neck rally in reference to the murder of George Floyd and responding to police brutality and white supremacy. But the reality is that white supremacy shows up in every facet of our life, and essentially does the same work of trying to extinguish our existence, and to assume or to dominate with power and control. And so I really appreciated that the movement was intersectional. The fact that there were people talking about Black maternal health, the fact that there were people making visible Black people of varying levels of ability and people with different abilities, and saying like, we're here and we exist and your movement can't exist without us because our Black lives also matter. That there were young people represented, that there were elders represented, that they were playing gospel music, but also like R&B music. The fact that there were people from like GLBTQIA organizations that weren't necessarily Black centered or BIPOC centered, but that said that like your liberation is tied in ours, and therefore we're here to also say that Black lives in fact do matter, and we see what's happening to you, right? And so for me, when I think about long-term impact, the reality that all of us can come together, staying in our respective lanes or our focus areas, but making sure that as we push towards liberation in the way that makes sense to us, that we're doing so, hand in hand, or that we're making sure that other people are coming to the table as well, so that our work isn't happening in a silo. And if that work is able to continue beyond the march, and it's not just a moment where we share a microphone or where, I do a set of interviews, but if we can continue to be in partnership with one another and do coalition work, I feel like that's going to be a key to really seeing the change that we want to see, is making sure that our allies are on board and that we are also being allies to other people's struggle.
Why I feel like it did have an impact on social justice and the movement is just something personal to me. Like, far as like my mom, she's never been to a rally, she's never been to a protest. She tries to stay out of just like anything political and keeping her views to herself. And just watching her take it in and take pictures of people's shirts and just like be super vocal now, like even with family members, about police brutality and just the importance of like getting behind like a cause. I think that's going to be the change, like for me and locally, like how my mom can get involved, because then she can get people she know involved. Like it's going to be a trickle down effect, which isn't going to be so macro, but it's just really micro. Like how can we start have like an impact on like people around us and ourselves? So for me, it was like dope to just witness everybody that was at the march, but also just seeing how it affected my mom. And it's super minor, but it has a impact on the bigger picture, which is just like, if we impact one person along the way and that person then becomes part of the solution, then we're just going to continue to just gather the people who's going to do the work with us. So I think that was part of the change.